I have spoken to the president about sustainable energy many times, and actually there are times when he's been supportive, but then at the end of the day, he has got way more support from the oil and gas industry because it's way bigger. The electric car industry is small, but I am encouraged by the fact that the car companies are switching to electric because for a long time it was not just the oil and gas industry we're fighting, but we're also fighting all the big auto companies as well. I mean, and they're like some of the biggest employers in the world. I think President Trump is for sure supportive on the space exploration side, and then arguably he's been as supportive as he can be on the electric car front, recognizing that a massive portion of the Republican support is coming from oil and gas. So I don't know if I'm not a politician, obviously, but if you're a politician and you want to win and you got a big chunk of support coming from oil and gas, then there's a limit to how far you're gonna push that situation.
Do you like him? Are you voting for him?
I'm to be totally frank, I'm not. I think let's just see how the debates go.
That's going to be your thing, the debates?
Well, I think that is probably the thing that will decide things for America.
Why is that?
I think people just want to see if Biden's got it together. If he does, he probably wins. If you got a two-party system, then the problematic issues are going to kind of fall somewhat randomly into one party or the other. It's not clear to me that there's a cohesive set of reasoning why these things are on one party versus another. They seem semi-random. And, obviously I'm socially very liberal, and then economically right of center, maybe, or center. I don't know. Obviously not a communist. So I think we want to keep improving the system, but we want a system that is responsive to the people. And all capitalism really means is just doing things making products that people want. We're literally fighting what Eisenhower called the military-industrial complex, So, it's not an easy battle fighting the military-industrial complex. And so it's really tough to break in. It might be the case that, for sure, SpaceX being able to win against the combined might of Boeing and Lockheed, which are the two biggest defense contractors in the country, that was an extremely tough battle. The initial lawsuit we filed was really just to be allowed to compete, because what had happened, this is several years ago, was the Pentagon had awarded Boeing and Lockheed a sole source uncompeted contract for $11 billion to launch US satellites. And they didn't even compete it. So it was a sole source uncompeted. And we're like, this is crazy. You got to at least run a competition. The law says you should have to run a competition. And so as a function of that lawsuit, or partly as a function of that lawsuit, we were able to get the Air Force to run a competition. And then we were able to win some launches from that competition. And then we were able to win more launches in the subsequent competition. Yeah, so, but our challenges have mostly been, to be clear, with the procurement side of things, not with the Air Force operationally. We're able to lower the cost of access to space, so we're certainly saving the taxpayer a lot of money. And we're advancing the technology of launch by having reusable rockets. Reusability is very important for improving access to space. And it's really just kind of insane to have a rocket be expendable. You build this incredibly exquisite machine, and then it comes down and smashes in the ocean, and there's debris at the bottom of the ocean. This is crazy. If you at least have two competitors, better than having none. A duopoly is better than a monopoly. An oligopoly is better than a duopoly. But ultimately, you want several companies or many companies competing to serve the greater good or serve the customer, essentially. Multiple companies competing to advance the future of spaceflight, so we can ultimately become a multi-planet species and a spacefaring civilization. I think this is actually fundamentally important for ensuring the long-term survival of life as we know it, is to be a multi-planet species. Again, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom here, but the fossil record does show there have been many extinction events over the millennia, and these are from meteors, from supervolcanoes, from just natural climate variation, which does become very severe, but at a pace that would seem slow to us. And then eventually the sun's going to expand and engulf Earth. Well, I mean, I've had some, not recently, but several years ago, some dinners with Jeff Bezos. There's private dinners talking about space and stuff. And, he does care about it has a similar view that we need to be a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species. I have like some minor disagreements with him in that I don't think we want to be living on a space station. I think we want to be living on a planet. But whatever, if you have advanced rockets, you can decide whether you want to live on a space station thing or live on Mars. So, I mean, right now we've got a long way to go because we can't even get back to the moon. So I think it's kind of sad that we were able to go to the moon in '69, and here we are, 2020, can't even go back to the moon. So, we definitely want to make sure civilization is improving over time. And it's important to note, like, there's an arc to civilizations. They don't just always go up. Look at the ancient Egyptians, Sumerians, Babylonians, ancient Greece, and they all had a civilizational arc where they had incredible technology, and then they lost the ability to use it. Sometimes I look at the skylines of the city, and I'm like, skyline's not changing much. It's not a good sign. I'm a bit worried that we're slowing down our rate of improvement, and we're slowing down our change, and we're getting old. I'm a bit worried about that. And that's why I'm look at the skylines, and the skyline's not changing. Get this worry. You're getting too set in our ways. And then we got to watch birth rate. Like, if we don't keep up our birth rate, then we won't have people. And we better hope there's AI because there won't be people. The fundamental breakthrough that's needed is a fully and rapidly reusable rocket. I mean, if you had to buy a new car every time you drove somewhere and tow another car behind you just to get back, like if cars were single use, it would be absurdly expensive. Your trip might cost you $30,000 instead of $30, literally. So one cannot overstate the importance of full and rapid reusability. And I think we're making it happen here. The Starship that we're developing in South Texas and Southern California is the design, the physics all work out. This can be fully and rapidly reusable. I think we'll launch Starship sometime next year to orbit. We would run it in automatic mode without people because it would be too risky to put people on it right away. But I think we may be able to put people on it as soon as 2 years from now, possibly. It might be me. I haven't really thought about it, but I think it would be safe for people probably in 2 years and definitely in 3 years. I mean, they've asked us, if this is possible to do, and I think we said yes, and talked, I think, some approximate costs and stuff. I don't know if it does. I think it'd be cool if it happened.
If you shot Tom Cruise into space, you think it would be cool?
I think it would be pretty cool, yeah. He does do a lot of his own stunts, so I think people will be like, whoa, this could be pretty interesting.
Can you bring him back?
We've already brought astronauts back.